We've all heard the expression, there's no place like home. So when we think of Ascension, our church home, many of us yearn to be back here. I'm Peggy Brown, vestry liaison to the Stewardship Ministry, which has created this virtual tour of the halls of Ascension. We've been away since the pandemic started, so we just wanted to let you know that the church is still active and to let you see the building again. This video is part of a 2 to 3 year education series called Holy Currencies that we enrolled in because we wanted to broaden the scope of stewardship to include the different interactions or currencies that flow among us, because our giving is about more than just money. The currencies you'll learn about during this series include gracious leadership, relationship, money, wellness, truth, and the one this video focuses on, time and place. Our goal here, though, is to let you see the place we love.
I'm Mike Clements. I'm a relatively new member of the parish, but my wife Lisa and I are active in the food pantry. I'm also involved in the stewardship ministry and ushering. The beautiful but functional grounds of the Church of the Ascension are maintained by a group of parishioners we fondly refer to as the Holy Mowers. Their efforts and commitment reflect a common spiritual bond and pride in maintaining the surroundings of the church. As we tour the church grounds, we see the generous work product as a true example in our parish life of what Jesus means when he reminds us that we are in the world but need not be of the world. We see our Holy Mowers as a team of people performing services to further the kingdom of God on earth, not for personal glory. Located in an alcove area between the south wall of the church and the Parish Hall is our memorial garden. The garden provides a space for the burial of ashes and a beautiful fountain, a symbol of eternal life, designed to provide a tranquil setting for prayer and reflection. It is enclosed by a wrought iron fence and offers a bench for rest and meditation, and in addition to the fountain are plantings, a statue, and a display of nameplates commemorating those whose ashes have been buried within. The lawn next to the church office springs to life each year when the entire community is invited to join us for a fun-filled time in conjunction with the Rose Lawn Festival. This event includes family-oriented activities such as bounce house, crafts, games, refreshments, open house, and more.
Hello, I'm Corinne Scott. I'm standing in the nave at Ascension. This building was consecrated in 1875, and much of the interior remains as it was in the beginning. However, over time, some modifications have been made to modernize this space. This beautiful Carpenter Gothic style room is the heart of our parish. Running down the center of the room between the rows of wooden pews is our creaky aisle. Oh, and when you sit down in these pews, you might want to be careful. You may get pinched. In this room, you will also find fine examples of craftsmanship, such as the wooden altar, our baptismal font, our eagle lectern, and of course, the gorgeous stained glass windows. Did you know that plaster covers horsehair lattice work within the walls? These walls rise up to the wooden plank ceiling, forming an archway, which mimics the keel of an overturned boat. A boat is also a religious symbol, meaning the whole wide church. There are many other religious symbols found in this room, such as the sconces over the altar, the church flag, and the kneelers found at the communion rail. All these symbols are reminders of our theology. No Episcopal Church would be complete without its organ or piano to help lead the choir and congregation in singing our traditional or contemporary hymns and our service music. Now, most Sundays you will find me sitting in the choir, and I have to say it is a rewarding ministry to help lead the singing during the services. There are other benefits for being in the choir. For one, sitting from this perspective, you see things happening here that you may not catch while you're sitting in the pews. And perhaps the best benefit is 2 times a year, Christmas and Easter, you have the best seat in the house and a guaranteed seat. I'm just saying. It is the desire of the Stewardship Ministry that our short video tours will give you hope and promise of returning to our spiritual home when we can gather again together in person at the tolling of the church bell.
I'm Sandy Behrens. Welcome to the Sacristy. This room, which is located between the nave and the Parish Hall, is where altar guild ministers meet to prepare our church for Sunday services. This room may seem small, but it is actually more than twice as large as it was originally. Veteran altar guild ministers remember when it was little more than a closet, accommodating 2 people with no social distancing. When the Parish Hall was built, the sacristy was enlarged, and a new ministry was created, the Flower Guild. This area provides Flower Guild ministers space to create floral arrangements for our altar. Here they can store a variety of vases, and they can keep flowers fresh in the refrigerator. Even though our services are only online now, Flower Guild ministers are continuing to provide us with beautiful arrangements for our altar that we can all enjoy on Sunday morning. Expanding the sacristy also gave altar guild ministers much more room. This closet houses altar linens, cabinets store communion wafers, candles, and other necessities, while these bins help us to organize a number of items that are needed for the service, such as purificators. Almost everything needed for our Sunday services can be found right in this room. A couple of years ago, I was invited to become part of our altar guild. I joined one of 4 teams who serve monthly on a rotating basis. And I learned how vital this ministry is to our church and how many tasks altar guild ministers perform, not only for Sunday services, but for weddings, funerals, and baptisms. This area is the work area for altar guild. It looks a lot like a kitchen. And yes, we do wash dishes here, but something very special happens when we come over here to this counter and begin to assemble the elements for the Holy Eucharist. This room becomes so much more than a kitchen. It becomes almost sacred. That's where the word sacristy originated, from the Latin word for sacred. It has been used to describe rooms like this in churches since the 15th century. So now you have the inside story of a little room that most people never see. I hope you have enjoyed this part of our tour.
Hello everybody. My name is Brenda Worley and I am here today to take you on a tour of the Parish Hall. We'll look at some of the highlights of the building, but I want to make sure that you see above the door as you enter the Holy, Holy, Holy altarpiece that was used when the altar was against the wall years and years and years ago, and we decided to honor it in this hall of history. In the entryway, you will see a beautiful crocheted piece with the Lord's Prayer made by a parishioner from years before who has gone to her reward, and it is a lovely piece for us to enjoy. The Parish Hall is typically one of the busiest places on the campus. It is usually bustling with activity, but as you know, very little has happened here the last few months. It serves many purposes. It's the location for celebrations when there are weddings, baptisms, and festive receptions following Easter and Christmas services. The room is crowded with food and beverage stations, seating, and room left to mingle. For services that have larger crowds than the nave can comfortably seat, overflow seating is usually set up in this space where I'm standing. This lovely sideboard is used as an overflow altar. It was donated to us by the late Larry Pritchard. Larry was always gifting something to the church. He was a very generous man. We weren't able to enjoy this space for Easter this year, but you may remember the lovely Chrismon tree that stood in the center of this space. We also had a Shrove Tuesday pancake supper. At the end of the Shrove Tuesday pancake supper, which is sponsored by Ascension's youth, they always have a pancake tossing contest. You may be able to see some of the remnants of pancakes on the roof. On a typical Sunday, these pass-through doors would be open and people would be drinking their coffee. The ice maker machine is a wonder. We used to have to buy bags of ice every Sunday and for every event. I'd like to give a shout out to Jamie Hamilton and Earl Newton II for keeping it clean and running. This kitchen is where the work of the fellowship ministry happens. On a typical Sunday, you would find two wonderful gentlemen, John Miller and Rich Bergren, here at the sink in their special aprons, washing and sanitizing all the dishes for us. This sink is a holdover from our former kitchen, but using it saved us about $1,000. And with that savings, we were able to purchase a commercial-style dishwasher. This dishwasher will sanitize our dishes in 3 minutes. This is a commercial convection oven. It is a workhorse. It can bake 100 potatoes in 45 minutes, and we often do that for the Lenten lunch. Our range and refrigerators are not commercial grade, but they serve us well. Thank you for joining me on this virtual tour of our parish hall and kitchen. I know you miss what goes on here as much as I do. We all know there's no place like home.
Welcome. I'm Kathy White, longtime parishioner here at Church of the Ascension. We are standing outside our new Parish Hall and Education building that was built about 6 years ago to replace a crumbling and small structure. And this building was built in the same Carpenter Gothic style as the church, so that it would appear that it's been here all along. Come with me through the back door. This is the way most of our parishioners enter when they come on Sundays. So come on, let's go through the back door of our home. Our new space provides much more room for all the activities and ministries in which the members of Ascension are involved. This hall particularly is the center of this action. This is where Christian formation takes place. Classes are held here for all ages. The nursery is a very warm and welcoming place for our young toddlers and babies. It has its own bathroom for their needs and lots of toys. Down the hall we have our wall of name tags. These are there for us to wear on Sundays to help identify each other, and if you don't have one, just contact the church office. Our children's classroom is another bright and cheery place. The children come on Sunday mornings for Sunday school. They hear Bible stories about Jesus, and they make arts and crafts to take home and show their parents. This is our vesting room, a place to hang our robes for our acolytes, Eucharistic ministers, and vergers. Right now, these robes are very lonely. They are waiting for people to wear them when we can worship in person again. This is our youth room. Actually, it's a double-sized room, and it's designed for our middle school and high school students. They have their Sunday school classes in here, and there's plenty of room for them to have EYC meetings and activities in here as well. Many of you have spent some time in one of our 2 adult classrooms. This room is often referred to as the deacon's room because of the remembrances we have hanging on the wall for Deacon Emily P. Hatfield. She was the first and only deacon here at Ascension, and she was my mother, and she loved this church. On the wall here you see many crosses and religious symbols that were donated by members of different study groups that were in this classroom. And these pieces have special meaning to each person, and they wanted to have them hanging here to share with everyone. In June, this entire hallway and the Parish Hall are dripping with crepe paper and all sorts of decorations as we celebrate our annual Vacation Bible School. You will find all of the rooms filled with laughing, smiling children who are creating and moving and singing as they learn about stories of Jesus and they continue to develop their foundation of faith. Ascension is a very busy place, and we are proud of our long heritage. On this wall are pictures and paintings of Ascension through the years. One of my favorite is this photo from the 1800s, and you can see that the nave is very much the same today, except for the gas lanterns. This is our gallery of rectors who have served Ascension over the last 70 years. Dr. Matthews came from Atlanta every Sunday to have services at Ascension, and he is the priest who baptized me when I was 14 months old. Doug Wynn, Father Wynn, served Ascension when it became an unaided parish, and he also married my husband Joe and myself here at Ascension over 50 years ago. And we have Mother Mary Erickson, our present rector, who's about to celebrate 10 years with being with us at Ascension. I hope you've enjoyed this portion of our tour of the building, and I hope to really see you soon.
Hi, Peggy Brown here again to show you the Red Door Food Pantry, which is part of Ascension's outreach ministry. To give you some background, I was in a group that started a soup kitchen back in the 1980s, somewhere around Thanksgiving. We would make a big pot of soup and invite the whole community to come. The soup kitchen continued and grew, and eventually another church took it on, while Ascension started collecting dried and canned foods and stored them at Ascension House. When Mother Mary came 10 years ago, the ministry had grown and had a name, the Red Door Food Pantry. I volunteered again, but this time we had 2 huge rooms, industrial-sized freezers, and heavy shelving. On Tuesday nights we would feed 50 people, and on Wednesday mornings about 20. People from all over the community helped. One volunteer, Martha Goodson, a tiny, wiry African-American woman, was 74 when I first met her. She seemed to know everyone, and they would greet her at the window, "Hey, Miss Martha." She came in early and worked late every Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, and to unload the truck once a month. She took ownership of this place and let us know if we weren't doing it right. But she's 78 now and doesn't volunteer anymore. but she taught me a lesson about how to show up and serve. Hi there. Karen Tyndall, the volunteer director of the Red Door Food Pantry, has kept things going, but a lot of things have changed over the last couple of years. We have bought a refrigerated food truck. We have become members of the Atlanta Community Food Bank. We have begun a mobile food ministry to Allatoona, Emerson, and Kingston. And we bought a refrigerated trailer for fresh food. Now we're going digital with all of our records and ordering, so that'll make things a lot easier. You know, during the pandemic shutdown, an organization of several groups came together to form Dinners to Go, which was open 7 days a week and sometimes fed up to 800 people a night. For me, though, I love to be involved and serve on Wednesday mornings when we average about 50 people, double what it used to be. We've grown so much. God has opened the doors for us to grow more. Who knows where that will lead us?
Hi, this is Mal Underwood. I'm here to talk to you about the Ministry of Finance here at Ascension, which is led by our Senior Warden and Vestry Liaison for Finance, Drew Tonsmeyer. Gabe Agan is the chair of our Finance Committee, and I am the treasurer and have been for a couple of years now. It would be remiss of me not to mention the fact that before I took the position as treasurer, that it was expertly and faithfully handled by Joe White for 3 decades before he decided to take his knowledge and experience in other directions, although I'm still happy to say Joe's on the finance team. And we're all kept in line by our wonderful financial administrator, Abby North, who's been with us about 8 years and does a wonderful job of her day-to-day activities and producing the financial information that we need. The primary mission of our finance ministry is to provide accurate, timely financial information to our leadership, Mother Mary, our vestry, our ministry leads, so that they know what their budget is for the year, where they stand at any point in time on a monthly basis, so they can manage at least the financial decisions that they make as they move through the year and conduct their ministries. We're here in the teller room. I am doing a teller report for the week. Under normal circumstances, when we're gathering, this is done by 2 tellers on Sunday after the 11 o'clock service. The deposits are made, the information's given to Abby, and along with all of her other work that she does, it's all accumulated during the month so that the reports that are necessary for our leadership to manage their ministries is done. I'd like to close out my segment with this note. Thanks to all of you, we're in very good shape financially. Your faithfulness in sending in your tithes and offerings during our time of dealing with COVID has been very inspirational. Thank you again for that. We look forward to the time when we can all be together again.
I hope you enjoyed seeing our church again and being reminded of all that goes on here, all that still goes on here, even though we don't meet as a congregation. We share the love of Ascension and we spend our time and talents in this place. There really is no place like home.